regular road. Alright, it's a bit rural over here. I'm driving on a regular road and I've ended up on this cobbled farm with cows roaming freely. Hi guys, so today we're in a Range Rover Evoque. It's a brand new 20 plate and it's the first edition spec, so it's the absolute top spec, fully loaded, everything on it. It's got Land Rover's InTouch Pro climate control touchscreen, which is very similar to the one that I reviewed in the SV autobiography. A little less feature packed maybe, but it's the same thing. So you've got the physical dials for the temperature control, and you can press them in and choose the seat control options. This has got the heated seats, it's not got the chilled seats in this model. Then we've got the new infotainment system, the nice big wide display by Land Rover, and it also has got the tilt option on it, so you can adjust the exact angle of that for whatever you fancy. It's got the frameless rear view mirror, which I think's absolutely stunning, looks really nice, same as what we had on the SV autobiography. And it's set at the moment to be the rear view camera, which I think is a nice addition. The only criticism I would have with that rear view camera is everything looks a bit close. If you actually look in your wing mirrors, or you look on the reverse camera when that comes on the infotainment system, you're not quite as close as you look in the rear view mirror, so it is a little bit hard to gauge with that. But when you're driving along and you just have a quick glance at it, you've got clear, really good quality footage of what's behind you. You've not got sort of the idea is that the visibility out of the back window on this Evoque isn't fantastic, especially if you had rear passengers in. So the idea is it doesn't matter, you can put a load of luggage on the parcel shelf and it's not impeding it at all because we're using a camera. It does make use of two cameras, so it's got the camera up high on the back of the navigation fin, and it's also got one on the boot lid for the rear view reversing camera that comes on the infotainment screen, so we can use two cameras there. We've got the beautiful complete digital display up front with all the clocks on, are completely digital. Looks really nice. We've got the head-up display being projected out in front of us, which shows what gear we're in. It shows that we're in drive. It shows that the speed limit of where we're driving at the moment, which is reading from the road signs with the camera as we're going along, and it shows the speed that we're actually going. We've got various options for, we've got the rake adjustment, we've got the heated steering wheel on this model. It really is, for an Evoque, the specification that's come with this car is phenomenal. I really like the shifter in this car, and we've also got underneath the shifter, we've got this grey plate with first edition written on it, with Land Rover on a chrome plate right surrounding it, which looks really nice. Then, let's mind this cyclist here. Then we've also got it's sort of like a dark grey, black leather seats with the cream inserts in the centre. It looks really nice. And we've got the cream suede across the dash. We've got the cream suede down the doors as well. It's like I say suede, it's like it's an odd feeling leather. I don't know if it is leather or suede. It's a bit of a funny one really. The jury's out on what it is. We've got memory seats on both sides. In the back is a nice and comfy place to be. Being the Evoque, it's not the biggest of vehicles. It's not designed to be, it's not designed to compete with the Sport. It's not designed to compete with the regular Vogue. But it's a nice little SUV. It's got the four-wheel drive option on it. It picks up its heels. It's nice and quick, very economical. It's just a lovely car to be in. I mean, this model's only done 951 miles. It's still not even been broken in yet. And it's, and you can see that inside and out it's absolutely in immaculate condition. It's been well looked after. We've got the electronic rake adjustment. We've got the touch buttons on the steering wheel. That nice Range Rover badge in the middle of the steering wheel, which really does look nice and makes you feel special when you're in the thing. I think I've been in certain Range Rover Evoques before where they've been the base spec and it's just been they've been used for courtesy cars and things like that I've driven. And I don't think they're deserving of the Range Rover badge personally. I think Land Rover have made a mistake with them. I don't think we should be opening up the Range Rover brand to, basically a starting point of about 30 grand. And I think there should be a little bit of a barrier to entry, because I think in order to do that, in order to achieve that, they've cut cost of materials. So you got inside that and it was a manual box and it was very plasticky and scratchy everywhere, and it was cloth seats, and it just felt very cheap. And then it had a Range Rover badge on the steering wheel, and I thought it's really devalued the brand, doing this. whereas you're getting something like this first edition, which is starting around 50 grand, and it's well deserving of the badge. You've not got the size, but the specification you've got on it's something else. It really is. You've got a lovely specification. We've got, and it sounds well. It's insulated. It's not, again, we've not skimped on the sound insulation so that you can hear the engine noise and the road noise everywhere you go. It's by no means quick. They're about 180 brake. They're not a fast fit. But having said that, for the size and weight of it, it does get a shift on when you put your foot down. So it's got the power there for overtaking. It's not for speeding about in, but it's small and it's nimble and it moves about, and it's got great views of the road, and I think it really is deserving of the Range Rover badge on that, and the sort of everything that comes with that, the prestige that comes with that, really. This has got the black headlining, which is a personal favourite of mine. I love black headlining in cars. I think it makes everything that little bit darker. I think it really feels very premium. I think the sort of grey and cream headlinings that come standard in a lot of cars, people like to pay extra for that black, because that black really does finish off, and it matches in nicely with the dash and with the seats, and it's just a nice place to be. It's got the pan roof on this one. Just open that up. It's not an opening pan roof, but it's a pan roof that's got a complete black headlining sunblind on it, which, when you want that roof open, it's great. It lets in tons of light. It looks really impressive. It's nice for the backseat passengers. It gives them the illusion of more headroom. It's just a nice thing for opening it up. As I say, I do, especially in the winter and at night times, I do like that black headlining cover. I think it looks really, really nice. I always tend to have it shut when I'm driving along at night time. It's got everything electric on this vehicle. We've got the electric folding mirrors. We've got things like automatic wipers, automatic lights. We've got soft indicators. As I said, everything on the steering wheel, the heated steering wheel, heated seats. It's a very high specification vehicle. This, I think it's called Dual Touch Pro. I might be wrong with the name of that, for the Land Rover new touchscreen climate control package. And I just think the way they've done it, the one criticism of it is you've got to really look at what you're doing and concentrate, because it's touchscreen and it's sort of very tapping away, and you've got to keep your eyes off the road. They've still got the tactile physical buttons for changing the temperature. So quickly when you're driving along, you can change the temperature that you've got if it's too hot or cold. And I think that's sort of a must, really. But aside from that, everything's got to be touched. So it's fine if you've got a passenger in the car, because they can control it and they can turn the heated seats on, and they can adjust different settings, and that's put the front and rear demisters on, and you can, everything's done from there. So they've done away with, in the sort of full fat Range Rover, as it were, the Range Rover Evoque, the big one, they've still got the physical buttons for the terrain response system. This has all been integrated into here. There's no physical buttons for anything like that at all. The only physical buttons you've got are your two for your temperature, and then your gear shifter. Obviously in the Evoque you've got the pop-up gear shifter, the rotary dial, which I think is a really impressive thing. It looks stunning. It falls completely flush as it goes away. I'm a really big fan of that. But there is something to be said about the shifter that you can hold as you're driving along. You can rest your hand on it, and you do feel very in control when you grab that and you press the button on the back, and then you shift into drive neutral and reverse. You can knock it across into sport, and on top you've got the power button to engage the electronic parking brake. It's just finished in a very nice way. There's lots of chrome, there's lots of black gloss, there's lots of leather. It's just done in a very nice way, and everything feels almost simplistic. There's a lot of complexity and features, but all built into the sort of infotainment package. But when it comes to buttons and dials and knobs, everything's very simplistic. The one criticism I probably would have with the look of it is I know this is being very picky now, but the window switches, the switches to control the electric windows are plastic, and they're very plastic. I think it'd be nice to have them finished in chrome, or especially when we've got so much chrome about the place, or even in a gloss black or something like that. But they're done in like a dull black plastic, and it doesn't really match the car. The rest of the car is done to such a nice high standard. We've even got like alloy accelerator and brake pedals. They've thought of everything apart from the window switches. It's strange. I like the vents in this car as well. The vents are very discreet, so they're sort of built into the dashboard. They're not protruding from the dashboard and in your face. It sort of reminds me a little bit of an old Defender, the way they've tucked them in, and just little flaps that you sort of adjust. You don't need to physically open them and let some wind rush through on a modern Range Rover Evoque, but it's just a nice little bit of style out of the dashboard. I really like these head-up displays. I think they're not a must. They're not something that I'd say, you know, if I was buying a car, what would I say are some key features that I really want on this car? Well, I'd probably say heated seats. I'd probably say heated seats is I know it's a real 21st century problem not having heated seats, but I think heated seats just really, you know, even today, we're in the middle of July now, we've got a temperature readout on here, 14 degrees outside. It's not a cold day. I got in the car this morning, the first thing I did was put the heated seats on, because I thought I'm a bit nippy, and I could put a jumper on, I could put a coat on, but it's much more comfortable to be driving along in a t-shirt. And I just think the heated seats are really a sort of a must for me. I love a heated steering wheel, but I appreciate you're not going to get that with every car, depending on what cars you go for. This has got it. But that head-up display, I've not got it in my car at the moment, and I've driven quite a few cars now with it in, and I just think it's such a good idea. You're not looking, like then when I went to look down for the temperature, I had to sort of consciously look where it was on the clocks, because I've not considered the clocks while I've been driving along. I've not had to look at them for the speed. Right in front of me, I've got the speed that I'm going and the speed of the area that we're at, the speed limit of the area that, and it's just nicely displayed for you. I'm not thinking, where's my speed, what am I going, and I'm constantly looking, keep taking my eyes off the road and looking down. It's just projected in front of me, and it's discreet. There's only I can see it, the passengers can't see it, but it just looks nice, and the way it projects, it's a projector, that's obviously how it's done, but the way they do it, it throws it onto the road in front, and it's sort of, there's a car going past now, let's just see what happens. Yeah, it sort of projects it onto the side of that car as it's going past. It's really strange the way it does it. If you've not seen head-up displays before, I'll try and capture it on camera for you shortly, but it really throws it into the road. It's not sort of sat on your windscreen, I think, as you'd expect. So, you know, that is a really nice feature, and I think there's a few features nowadays in modern cars, the way the technology's evolved, that could really save lives, could save speeding tickets. There's a few things that it'd work with, but I think, you know, for example, the head-up display I think is great because your eyes aren't coming off the road. Then you've got things like the collision avoidance, where the vehicle slams the anchors on for you. Not that you're not having to brake, you're not having to think, but everyone has distractions all the time. So right now I'm recording a video, I'm doing it in a safe manner, but there is distractions when you're going along. You may be, a song comes on the radio you like, and your mind just wanders for 2 seconds, and then that can be it, you can be in the back of someone. So I think the collision avoidance systems that they build into cars is fantastic. The lane keeping assist that they're building into some cars, you know, some of them will beep if you sort of deviate from a lane you're in, but others will really take control. So for example, the new Kia Sorento, I drove a GT Line S, recently, and that had lane keep assist, and it'd drive the car for you. If you go on the motorway, it'd detect the lines. Every 10 or 15 seconds you had to put your hands on the steering wheel to show you were still there. I thought at first it was a touch-based thing on the steering wheel. It wasn't. You had to sort of just move the steering wheel ever so slightly with your hand, and then it knew you were there. But it was just the way it worked. It was driving, it'd go around bends itself, and it'd just glue to the white lines, and it was really, really good and really clever. And I thought, wow, what a clever piece of technology, because, you know, again, you're distracted slightly, and you're naturally just moving slightly in the lane. This kept you plumb straight in the centre of the lane. It kept you bang on, and it was really, really good. So I was really impressed with that. With the radar cruise control, the car in front slows down, you slow down. The car in front speeds up, you speed up. Within a tolerance of whatever speed you've set, that's it. It's not sort of it goes to 90, so you go to 90. You've set your speed to 70 and we'll go above that. So, but I just think that's really good as well, because you're not concentrating as much, or you're not tied as much to the vehicle, really. Let's just turn it around, because I've no idea where we've ended up in it. Well, this is testing the Evoque off-road anyway. I mean, we've found a cobbled farm road that's, you know, I can hear the suspension. I chopping and changing as we're going over these cobbles, and it's whilst the camera's bobbling a bit and I'm bobbling a bit, it's certainly by no means uncomfortable. And I think if we were, you know, we're going 8 miles an hour, we're not bombing it down these cobbles, but I think if we were in something, you know, a Volkswagen Golf or something, I think we'd be really experiencing some crashes and bangs now. But we're not. It's a nice, comfortable place to be, even on a cobbled road. And just cows absolutely everywhere, really. Just at the side of the road, in the road. We're just driving down a regular road. Alright, it's a bit rural over here. I'm driving down a regular road and I've ended up on this cobbled farm with cows roaming freely. We have got the flappy paddle option on this gearbox as well, so we can intervene and... Can we intervene, in fact? No, we can't. So I'm guessing what we have to do. Yeah. In order to use the flappy paddle box on this, now that could be to do with the settings in the vehicle, because I remember in my 4.4 V8, that was, you could choose to have the flappy paddles working all the time, and you could just intervene whenever you wanted and drop a gear or up a gear, or you could have them that they only worked when you knocked it into sport and you were going for sort of a Tiptronic mode, and that was a setting on the clocks that you could go through and enable. So maybe that is set at the moment to just be in sports mode. Got a really, really quiet engine, this. I think it's a 2 litre diesel on this vehicle, and it's got enough poke, as I said, to overtake and to just nip about. It's very nippy, it's very agile. It's not going to win any awards for speed or anything like that, but it's just right, but it's nice and quiet, it really is. Like I say, you've got good use of sound editing anyway, but the engine itself's not a really noisy engine, even if you stood outside the vehicle. It's nice and quiet and nice and nimble and just purrs and ticks over. Admittedly, we're on less than 1,000 miles on this vehicle so far. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like it. That really helps me out, and please subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you all very soon.